joins us live now from Cape Town, South Africa. John, thank you so much for being with us. So Ambassador Brigady's comments that South Africa may indeed be supplying ammunition to Russia is obviously very troubling. Just walk us through what you're doing, what the Democratic Alliance is doing, just in terms of pressing President Ramaphosa for answers.
Well, thank you very much, and great to be with you this evening. For the last year and a half, we've been putting written parliamentary questions into both the Minister of Defence and the President, pressing them on whether arms were being supplied to Russia, because it has been our suspicion that this has been going on for some time. When the Lady R revelations broke, obviously we've put in place a number of Promotion of Access to Information Act inquiries to get hold of the manifest. But it's very clear now from the ambassador's comments that there was materials of war loaded onto that ship at a government Navy shipyard, and that has made its way into other parts of Africa, but also certainly, it seems, to the Ukraine. And I think that it is ghastly to contemplate that South Africa has been complicit in the murder and slaughter and the war that's going on in Ukraine by the Russian forces.
So what do you think the consequences will be, just in terms of what's at stake with South Africa's relationship with the US? There is a very important, Dave McKenzie was just touching on this here, a very important trade relationship that South Africa has with the US. What do you think it will mean for that and for foreign direct investment as well?
Well, it was very difficult. I've just returned from Washington a fortnight ago, where I was meeting with key role players on the Hill and other opinion formers, trying to get them to understand that South Africa is not the African National Congress, and that in fact there's large parts of the far majority of South Africans do not support the government's position on the Russia-Ukraine matter, and that we were trying to salvage what was left of AGOA. I'm not sure what this now means for the preferential access that South Africa has to the market with the US, and it is inconceivable that we're throwing away a multi-billion rand relationship in favor of trade with a country for which accounts for less trade than one of our less developed neighbors. It is foolhardy. It is frankly absurd that this government would put our economic prospects at such peril and the people of South Africa at such peril for some ideological bent that they have towards Russia and Mr. Putin.
When you think about all the different elements of South Africa's relationship with Russia, I mean, you have the sort of joint military drills that were taking place. You have the fact that South Africa has taken a non-aligned position in terms of the war in Ukraine, not really coming out to condemn the war in Ukraine at all. And then the ambivalence, the back and forth about whether or not South Africa would arrest Putin if Putin did indeed travel to South Africa for the BRICS summit. All that to say, I mean, what do you think is the relationship, and what does the ANC stand to gain from a close relationship with Vladimir Putin and overall Russia?
Well, let me just be very clear. I don't think South Africa has a non-aligned position. I think they've made it very, very clear by their deeds, by their words, that they are definitely on the side of Russia, and they can no longer use BRICS.
Right, but what I mean is the refusal to sort of come out and condemn the war, right?
Yeah, so it's very clear. It's a financial link. The ANC's biggest declared financial backer in South Africa is Victor Vekselberg, who's a sanctioned Putin-linked oligarch. And it's very clear Russia is channeling financial resources into the ruling African National Congress, which is leading to them making decisions that put the state of our nation at great peril, sacrificed on the altar of their party political expediency. And I think it's appalling that so many people's lives and livelihoods are at risk because the ANC needs to fill its coffers because the taps of corruption and maladministration are slowly being turned off.
Okay. John Steenhuisen, live for us there. Thank you so much. And just to reiterate for our viewers that the South African government is saying that they have no records of any arms sale to Russia, and they are conducting an independent investigation. John Steenhuisen, live for us there. Thank you. All right, still to come.